Do, 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 do. All right, guys. I guess we can resume. Sorry for that interruption, and not any fault of ours, but poor connectivity. And welcome to Gambia. That's how life it is. Life is in the Gambia. But like I said, the Ministry of Finance has a very instrumental role to play, and that is the current price hikes that Gambians are suffering. You know, it has many variables, but one of the variables under the control of the Ministry of Finance is the cost of transportation. And when I say cost of transportation, what it costs to move goods from point A to point B. For instance, what it costs to move, a truckload of rice from Banjul to Brikama. If you increase the cost per liter of fuel, naturally, that will be translated on the cost of a 50-kilogram bag of rice. So what the government can do is to make sure that they reduce the cost per liter of fuel. And about 2 weeks ago to 2.5 weeks ago, the government of the Gambia changed the pump price for both petrol and diesel. And they changed it upwards, meaning the prices were increased. So for me, that was counterproductive considering the heating of the economy that we have been living under. The Gambian economy has been heated significantly because prices were increasing on a daily basis, and that's why we had what you call macroeconomic price instability. When you have price instability, the last thing you want to do is to change a variable that has a cross-cutting effect on all types of economic activities. Fuel is a strategic product, like I said. It cuts across all sectors of the economy. So if Ministry of Finance decide that they're going to increase the cost per liter for fuel, rest be assured, rice is going to go up, flour will go up, sugar will go up, transporting people will go up, commodity pricing, i.e. the produce we eat, the vegetables will go up, because all of these are transport sensitive. So what the government needs to do is, we are coming to month's end, and by the 25th of this month, the May price structure will be out. So one thing the Ministry of Finance can do and should do now is to start looking for a price reduction in terms of pump price for petrol and diesel. And in doing so, they are helping the economy. In doing so, they are giving the Gambian a respite. In doing so, they are making sure that they protect your purchasing power. And it's the interest of the government to protect our purchasing power. If not, inflation will kick in. When inflation kicks in, it becomes a zero sum and everybody loses, including society. So I do hope that the government will understand that it's to the interest of the greater good of society to make sure that we have price stability in the country. So I am just pleading with the policymakers that come month of May, they should endeavor to bring the price of fuel down. And in doing so, I think Gambians will have a relief. And we need a relief. Life has been very unbearable for the average Gambian. And I do hope that the people who design policy understand that life has been unbearable. And the only way things can change is for them to really change. But why is it so difficult for the government to change? Well, it's been difficult for the government to change for the simple fact that we rely heavily on taxation for the financing of our budgets. But then why should government shoot itself on the foot by collecting money, but at the same token increasing price levels in the market? So one thing has to give in, and what needs to give in is the insatiable appetite of the government to spend. Government needs to reduce their spending. Government needs to reduce their need for money. Government need to reduce their appetite for cash. because today it's either they collect cash or they make us poorer. Which of the two should government do? Reduce taxation, and in reducing taxation, government will make the Gambian better off. And when the Gambian is better off, society is better off. And that's our problem as we speak right now. So I do hope they do something about it, and I do hope something is done sooner than later, because the average Gambian is getting poorer, poverty is getting on the rise, and this cannot continue. It's not sustainable, because it's a recipe for social upheaval. So government of the Gambia, take heed, reduce the pump price of petroleum, and that will ease off some of the commodity prices we've been suffering. Ministry of Trade need to understand that Gambia is an open market, and in an open market you cannot regulate prices. All you can do is to create an environment where competitive prices will thrive and where non-competitive prices will be punished by the market. And that's what they need to do. We don't have price control mechanisms because it's a free open market. So government, what is wrong with our policy makers to think you can look at importers and tell them to reduce prices when a strategic product like petroleum has been increased less than 2 weeks ago? Someone needs to pay for that throughput, someone needs to pay for that added cost, and it's the consumer. So whatever government does, is the Gambian consumer who suffers. So I think it's been very disingenuous of government pleading with the importing community and traders to reduce prices when the very government that's asking them to reduce prices are increasing prices on petroleum products. This doesn't make sense, and it must stop, and we need to call it out. So Ministry of Finance, we expect better, and what we expect is for you to start with reducing the pump price of petroleum. Petroleum today, where is that? I think it has been increased by over $2-3. So $3 per liter can easily translate to $15-20 on a bag of rice if you're to transport it from Banjul to Basse. From Banjul to Farafenni, maybe another $10-12. So something needs to happen here, and it takes compassion, it takes common sense, and it takes proactive policy making to do such a thing. So we are expecting better days, but the only way better days will come is for the government of the Gambia, the Ministry of Finance, to take macroeconomic management seriously and reduce the public borrowing you have been doing to finance infrastructure projects. The more you finance infrastructure projects by public borrowing and domestic borrowing for that matter, you're putting pressure on the Gambian. How? Because the taxman needs to collect more for you to pay for your obligation. So it's a zero sum, and that's why some of us are not happy with the Banjul project. Some of us are not happy with the Nyomi Hakalan, because you are putting a burden on the Gambian taxpayer, and the Gambian taxpayer right now needs social protection just to survive in terms of, the daily needs of life, i.e. paying for their kids' tuition, i.e. feeding themselves and being able to buy power and electricity and water, So we need to do something, and the only people who can help are the Ministry of Finance. So please have compassion. Please have a real look in terms of how you price, especially the way you're pricing petroleum products at the pump. Help Gambians and not make the life of Gambians miserable. God bless you all, and we're hoping that they listen. May is just around the corner, and they have the opportunity and the ability come 25th of April to come up with a new price for the month of May. And that price must be reduced and revised downward to make sure that the Gambian has little bit excessive money in their pockets to spend, because today the Gambian is outstretched, meaning prices are rising faster than the average Gambian's income, and life is becoming unbearable. And mind you, we are in a political season, and that's why I do hope that they listen. I do hope they do the right thing, and I do hope that we try and do something to make life better for the average Gambian. God bless you all. Thank you. And Ministry of Finance, once again, take a critical look and bring the price of fuel down for the month of May. Thank you so much.